What happens when our homes become smarter than we are? IFA 2025 showcases a world of seamless tech, cars that charge themselves, robots that climb stairs, and AI that even feeds your fish. But as technology erases every inconvenience, what essential human connection is being lost in the process?
Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're the place you come to, well, sift through all the noise, find those crucial insights, and hopefully get those aha moments that really leave you feeling informed.
That's the goal.
Today, we're basically taking you on a trip straight into the future, or, well, what the tech world thinks the future looks like. Specifically, we're diving into IFA 2025.
Right, the big tech show in Berlin.
Exactly. So imagine stepping into this huge arena, right? It's all gleaming gadgets, polished screens, futuristic concepts everywhere you look.
Quite a spectacle.
It really is. And it's all selling this dazzling promise, this vision of a life that's just utterly simple, effortless.
Convenient, maybe even bordering on magical, you could say.
Yeah, that's a good word for it. Magical convenience.
And this magic, it's really designed to change your day-to-day life. I mean, IFA, it's more than just new products, isn't it? It's like a window into what we collectively want from technology.
Definitely. And we're talking about some pretty wild stuff here.
Oh, yeah, like electric cars that charge themselves when you park them.
Robot vacuums that can actually climb stairs now.
Which is amazing. And even AI-powered fish tanks that handle all the tricky maintenance stuff.
Right. So these aren't just small upgrades. It feels like a really concerted push to get rid of all these little efforts, the tiny frustrations.
Friction.
Exactly. The friction that kind of punctuates our daily lives right now.
And that's really the core of what we're digging into today, isn't it?
It is. This whole deep dive is about this relentless hunt for what we're calling a frictionless future.
Right.
We've gone through a whole pile of sources, reports right from the show floor, some really insightful expert analysis, and even some pretty fascinating philosophical takes on what all this convenience actually means for us.
Yeah, moving beyond just the gadgets themselves.
Totally. Our mission isn't just to sit here and marvel at this shiny new tech, though some of it is pretty cool.
It is.
We want to unpack this deeper question that seems to be humming just beneath the surface of all these innovations. What actually happens to us, to our lives, when all that friction is gone?
Is removing friction always the same as making life better?
Or is there maybe a hidden cost, something we're overlooking in this rush for convenience?
A profound cost, perhaps.
That's what we're aiming for today, those moments that make you stop and, rethink what convenience really means. Okay, so let's dive right into this vision of effortlessness from IFA 2025, because this is where those future dreams start to feel, well, tangible.
Yeah, you can almost touch it.
And where better to start than with power? I mean, let's be honest, power cables, hunting for outlets, that dead battery panic.
Yeah.
It's a huge source of daily friction for pretty much everyone, isn't it?
Absolutely. And this idea of the power cable just vanishing, that's maybe the most immediate, most impactful promise of this frictionless future.
Right. We've seen it with our phones, haven't we? Going from wires to those little wireless charging pads.
Which felt like a big deal at the time.
But now these IFA reports are showing that concept scaling up in, well, truly revolutionary ways.
From like wireless car charging.
Yes. Specifically, Porsche showed off this incredible system. Now, just picture this for a second. You've got an electric car.
Okay.
Instead of messing around with a heavy, sometimes dirty cable, maybe it's raining, maybe it's dark.
Yeah, the worst.
You just drive your car into your garage, you line it up over this special inductive pad.
Right, built into the floor.
Embedded right in the floor, no plugging in, no bending down, you don't even have to think about it.
You just park.
You just park. And the car, silently, invisibly, just starts charging itself.
The sources we looked at called it magical. And you can see why.
It really does sound like magic, like the car is just breathing in power on its own.
And that's the real beauty, isn't it? Reducing the whole act of charging to just arriving home.
Yeah.
And the system's designed to be super easy. You get a notification on the dashboard, confirms you're aligned right, confirms it's charging.
So you know it's working.
Exactly. Takes the guesswork out. Now, it's still a concept for mass rollout. Okay.
Not something you can buy tomorrow.
No, but Porsche is apparently targeting Europe for maybe 2026. So it's on the horizon.
And it's more than just convenience, isn't it? It's making a whole routine chore just fade into the background.
Completely. Imagine never actively thinking about charging your car again. Parking is charging. Full stop.
That's a pretty big leap. And this whole wireless idea, it wasn't just for cars, right? IFA also showed off some blazing fast charging for our smaller devices. Stuff that makes even using a cable feel less annoying because it's so quick.
Yeah, tackling that friction of impatience, as some sources called it.
Aha, I like that. The friction of impatience, I feel that daily.
Me too.
Okay.
Anchor, for example, they showed off their Prime power bank.
Yeah.
Get this, 250 W input.
Whoa, so the power bank itself charges super fast.
Exactly. You're almost never waiting for it to be ready to charge your other stuff, which is often the bottleneck, right?
Totally. You grab the power bank and it's dead.
Right. And this one also has a 300 W output.
Which is enough for
Big stuff, like demanding gaming laptops. So it really speeds everything up, minimizing that waiting time.
Okay, that's impressive speed. What about going off-grid?
Yeah, there are also these really practical solar-powered security cameras.
Oh, okay.
These things can apparently get a full charge from just 1 hour of decent sunlight,
Wow.
offering what the report's called eternal vigilance.
Sounds slightly ominous, but useful.
Yeah. But perfect for places where running a power cable is a pain or just impossible. You know, sheds, remote corners of the yard, that kind of thing.
Giving you real autonomy from the grid for those spots.
Exactly.
So, okay, whether it's your car, your phone, your laptop, your security, the goal seems crystal clear.
Perpetual, uninterrupted flow.
That's it. Minimize downtime, kill the frustration of waiting, make sure your essential tech is always just ready, always on, without you even thinking about power. All right, moving on from seamless power, let's talk chores. Because honestly, who enjoys chores?
Not many people I know.
They're another huge source of friction in our lives, and IFA 2025 really hammered home that this idea of the autonomous servant, you know, the robot helper.
It's not just sci-fi anymore.
No, it's here. And it's getting seriously sophisticated at tackling those annoying domestic tasks.
It really taps into that ancient dream, doesn't it? Wanting something else to do the drudgery. From golems to, you know, the sorcerer's apprentices, brooms.
Yeah, we've always wanted help around the house, and at IFA we saw some of the most advanced versions yet. Things that are genuinely conquering stuff that robots couldn't handle before.
Freeing us from the mundane.
And the absolute standout for me personally had to be the stair-climbing robot vacuum.
Oh yeah, that one got a lot of buzz.
It's a real feat of engineering because robot vacuums, they're great on one floor, right?
Fantastic.
But stairs, they just stop dead. It's like they're kryptonite.
Yeah, the ultimate barrier.
But this new one, the main vacuum part sits inside this like outer frame.
Right.
And that frame has these grippers that basically grab the stair edge and lift the whole vacuum up step by step.
It literally climbs the stairs.
Yeah. It climbs, which means one single robot can now clean your entire house, even if it's got multiple floors, basement to attic, potentially.
That is a huge leap and a massive benefit for you, the listener, if you live in a house, not a slat.
Totally. No more needing 2 or 3 robots, or worse, carrying the darn thing up and down yourself.
Which defeats the purpose.
Exactly. This tech really frees you from that tedious job doing it with, what did the sources say? Tireless precision.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Just eliminates a big chunk of that friction of domestic labor. Gives you time back.
But the automation went even further into some pretty unexpected places. Like, how about an AI smart fish tank?
Okay, now you've got my attention. An AI fish tank.
Yeah, not just a fancy filter. This thing is loaded with sensors. It's constantly monitoring water quality, temperature, light.
Okay, makes sense so far.
It automatically dispenses the right amount of food. And get this, it apparently even knows when the fish are hungry.
How?
Based on their activity levels and how much they ate last time, the algorithms figure it out.
It's slightly creepy, but also amazing. A pet care revolution, like you said.
Right. The promise is basically a perfect, stable environment for your fish with zero guesswork or daily effort from you.
Solving the friction of care, essentially. Creating this little self-sustaining ecosystem in your living room.
Exactly. And speaking of friendly tech, we also saw robots trying to be more, well, personable interfaces for the smart home.
Like Nico and Noah?
Yeah, those cute little guys with faces. They're designed to replace the standard smart speaker cylinders, you know?
Make it feel less like talking to a machine.
Right. Be the central hub for your lights, thermostat, all that connected stuff, but with a bit more personality.
Trying to make the automated home feel more approachable.
And beyond those really eye-catching examples, there was loads of other smart home tech too, right?
Oh yeah. Hybrid robots, they can mow the lawn and vacuum your floors.
Okay, that's multitasking.
Robot mops, they can actually lift their wet pads up when they sense carpet so they don't soak it. Automated blinds that follow the sun. It's just this accelerating trend towards more and more sophisticated automation.
Chipping away at every little bit of domestic friction, promising a home that basically runs itself. Okay, let's shift gears a bit.
Okay.
We've done power, we've done chores. Now let's talk about the actual objects we use every day.
How they look and feel and function.
Because IFA showed this really fascinating trend. Objects are becoming less fixed, more fluid, almost like liquid, adapting to what we want them to do.
Eliminating that spatial dissonance, as some reports put it.
Spatial dissonance, explain that.
It's that slight awkwardness when a tool's shape doesn't quite match the task or the content, like watching a vertical video on a horizontal screen.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that little mental hiccup.
Exactly. And this trend is about making the tool reconfigure itself around us, around our needs, rather than us adapting to the tool.
Creating a liquid surface for interaction.
Yeah, where the tool just bends to the task at hand.
And the perfect example has to be that Samsung portable monitor with auto rotation.
Right. Like the LG Stand By Me, but with a twist.
Literally a twist. So portable monitors are already flexible. You can move them around. But this Samsung one adds this killer feature. The screen rotates automatically.
It figures out if you need landscape or portrait.
Yeah. Based on what you're doing or the content you're looking at, it just flips itself.
So why is that a big deal?
Well, think about coders or graphic designers, anyone working with long documents or lines of code. A vertical screen is a total game changer.
Lets you see way more at once, less scrolling.
Exactly. Big productivity boost.
Yeah.
And for the rest of us, think about all the vertical video we watch now.
TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels.
Right. This monitor just gets rid of that awkwardness, that spatial dissonance of watching vertical stuff sideways. The screen adapts perfectly to the content.
Moving that little speed bump in your brain.
Yeah. But then things got even more conceptually interesting, didn't they, with Acer's Project Dual Play?
Ah, the transforming mouse pad.
Exactly. So picture this. It's a nice mouse pad on your desk, but then
You detach it from the base.
and it becomes a wireless gaming controller.
The object literally has a dual identity.
It adapts its whole physical function to what you need right then. Working. Mouse pad, friend comes over for games, poof, controller.
Eliminating the friction of swapping tools when you switch from work to play. Pretty slick.
Super slick. A seamless play flow, maybe.
Huh, maybe. It's a really intriguing idea, objects having these fluid identities, but sometimes chasing that fluidity can create new problems, right?
Yeah, you mean the spherical MagSafe power bank?
Exactly. Visually, it looked amazing in the reports. Perfectly round, smooth, pebble-like, they said.
Like a piece of art you stick on your phone. Because MagSafe is that magnetic thing on iPhones, right?
It snaps onto the back. And aesthetically, yeah, it's striking.
Yeah.
But the reports were quick to point out it's kind of ergonomically absurd.
Meaning?
Try holding a perfectly round sphere flat against the back of your flat phone while you're actually trying to use the phone.
Oh, yeah, I could see that being awkward, wobbly.
Exactly. The beautiful spherical design totally works against how you'd actually hold and use it. Classic form over function.
So the very smoothness they were going for created a new kind of friction.
Pretty much. The friction of the old rectangular power banks the sharp corners, the flat surfaces. That's actually what made them practical. They sat flush, easy to grip.
Interesting trade-off, but not all sleek designs failed on function, right? What about that Acer laptop?
The Acer Swift Edge 16. Yeah, that one seemed to hit the mark. The key thing there was weight, or lack of it.
How light are we talking?
Under 1 kilogram.
Yeah.
Like 0.9 kilogram for the IPS screen model, 1.1 kilogram for the OLED.
Wow, that's incredibly light for a full 16-inch laptop. Lighter than some tablets.
Exactly. It makes it genuinely ultra-portable. Rivals things like the LG Gram.
Perfect for people who travel a lot for work, mobile professionals.
Absolutely. Taking the weight out is a form of frictionless design. Less burden to carry around.
Okay, so beyond the everyday convenience stuff and the shape-shifting objects, IFA always delivers that really high-end, bleeding-edge tech, too.
Pushing the absolute boundaries.
Especially for gaming and immersive entertainment. This is where that idea of frictionlessness starts messing with our actual senses.
Yeah, trying to eliminate even the tiniest perceptual friction, making the digital world smoother, more immersive, maybe even more perfect than reality.
Which sounds kind of intense.
It can be.
And when you talk about visual perfection, you're talking about gaming laptops and displays that are just nuts.
Pretty much, like that 720 hertz OLED monitor someone showed off.
720 hertz. So the image refreshes 720 times a second.
Yep, which is arguably beyond the threshold of typical human perception.
So why bother?
To completely eliminate any hint of motion blur or ghosting. The goal is an image so incredibly fluid, so unnaturally smooth, it almost feels hyper-real.
Giving pro gamers that tiny extra edge, or just delivering mind-blowing visuals for everyone else?
Exactly. Unprecedented visual fidelity.
But you need serious horsepower to drive a display like that, right?
Yeah. Enter the monster machine, as some call it. The Acer Predator Helios 18 gaming laptop.
Sounds intimidating.
It is. We're talking the absolute top-end RTX 5090 graphics card.
The visual powerhouse.
An Intel Core Ultra 9 processor.
Yeah.
Serious number crunching. And a huge 18-inch 4K screen running at 120 hertz with mini LED tech for amazing contrast and color.
Okay, specs sound incredible. Price tag.
Report said over 5,000 euros.
Ouch. Okay, so that's for the hardcore enthusiast with deep pockets. Seriously powerful, expensive hardware.
Definitely. For people who want zero compromises, zero performance friction.
But it wasn't all just for the super rich, right? Acer had more accessible stuff too.
Yeah, thankfully. They had their Nitro V16 and 16S models, starting around $1,000, which is still significant, but more achievable.
And they still had decent specs.
Yeah, things like RTX 5070 graphics, 16-inch screens, good performance for a much wider audience.
Okay, good. What else caught your eye from the IFA reports? Any other highlights?
Well, the Dyson Air Purifier stood out, mostly for its design.
How so?
It was shaped like a jet engine, very bold, very industrial, definitely a statement piece.
Not trying to blend in then?
Not at all, which usually suggests a hefty price tag too. Form is the function almost.
Right. What else?
A new Google 4K projector. The big selling point seemed to be high lumens.
Meaning it's really bright.
Yeah, bright enough that you could potentially use it during the day, not just in a pitch black room, which is a limitation for many projectors.
That's useful. What about wearables?
Hybrid smartwatches seem to be a theme. Brands like Withings, Recon.
What makes them hybrid?
They combine a classic analog watch face, real hands, with a small, usually discreet smart display.
So you get the look of a traditional watch, but with some smarts.
Exactly. The best of both worlds, people often say. Good for passive health tracking, basic notifications, without a full-on screen dominating your wrist.
And the prices were mentioned?
Yeah, the Withings Scan 2 and Lie models, for instance, had monochrome displays around $350 and $250 respectively. So a blend of style and utility.
Okay. Anything else conceptual or a bit out there?
There was this idea for a portable home theater system. Basically a projector with detachable speakers.
To create surround sound on the go.
That was the concept.
Yeah.
But the reports noted it weighed 32 kilograms.
32 kilos? That's not very portable.
Not really, no.
Yeah.
Calls the whole portable aspect into question. And the price.
Yeah.
Equivalent to 3 iPhone 17 Pro Maxes.
Wow. Okay, so very niche. Luxury item, maybe.
Seems like it. Less a practical solution, more a high concept piece.
Gotcha. Any updates on things we already know, like the Steam Deck?
Yeah, just sort of confirmation of what most people think. It's great for casual PC gaming on the go. Fantastic portable experience for lots of games. Maybe not the absolute best for highly competitive gaming where every millisecond counts. Depends entirely on what you want to use it for.
Makes sense. And TV backlighting, that stuff that glows behind the TV.
Yeah. Reports mentioned it, noted it adds immersion, but also point out it's not new tech. Philips has had Ambilight for years.
Right, so cool, but not revolutionary at this point. Okay, so we've just walked through this gleaming vision of the future from IFA, a world designed to scrub away every last bit of friction.
It's impressive. Undeniably, feels magical sometimes.
It really does.
Yeah.
But here's where our deep dive takes a turn. Maybe gets a little uncomfortable.
Because the sources we looked at really started to question this relentless pursuit of effortlessness.
Exactly. This smooth perfection. It often comes with hidden costs. What if erasing friction isn't really eliminating weight, but just making it invisible?
Displacing it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Somewhere we don't see or maybe don't understand.
Yeah. That's the profound question that starts bubbling up when you look critically at all this hyper-convenience.
The promise we're sold is simple. Less friction equals better life. Full stop.
Right. But what if friction isn't just a bug? What if it's actually a feature?
Maybe even a crucial feature of how we engage with the world. Necessary for understanding, for connection, maybe even for our own sense of agency.
It totally shifts how you think about convenience, doesn't it? #, invisible infrastructure and systemic dependency.
Let's go back to that Porsche wireless car charger. It's amazing for the user, right? The friction of plugging in a heavy-duty cable just vanishes. Poof.
Feels like magic, like we said.
But the sources remind us, every act of magic has its hidden mechanics. There are no real shortcuts, only displacements.
So the friction didn't disappear.
No, it just got displaced,
Right.
moved somewhere else. For one thing, wireless charging is just less efficient than a cable. Some energy is lost to the air.
A silent tithe paid to the god of convenience. I like that phrasing from the reports.
It's good, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But more importantly, installing that pad isn't simple. It requires complex work, embedding high-power tech into your home's foundation.
So the effort, the cost, the engineering, it's just outsourced, away from your hands into this hidden infrastructure.
Exactly. It's like a conjurer's trick.
We see the cool illusion, but miss the hidden wires and cranes making it happen.
Right. And the same applies to those solar security cameras. Yeah, they're free from power cords, locally powered.
Which is great.
But they're still totally dependent on other complex, invisible systems, aren't they? Wireless networks, remote data centers for storage, cloud servers for the AI.
The physical wire is gone, but the dependency is still there. It's just more abstract, less tangible.
And this raises a huge question. When we keep trading simple, understandable friction like plugging something in for these complex systemic dependencies that we don't control or fully grasp, what are we losing?
We don't have to do the small physical act anymore.
But we become tangled in these huge, intricate systems. The real danger, the sources warn, is severing our understanding of how our world is powered, how it works.
How fragile it all might be.
Exactly. We enjoy the magic, but forget the machinery behind it. Our personal effort is gone, but the system's effort and our reliance on it grows massively. Hashtag tag the erosion of engagement and care.
And this displacement of friction, it doesn't just stop at infrastructure, does it? It creeps into our relationships, with things, with our environment, maybe even with living beings.
And nothing illustrates that more starkly, or maybe more disturbingly, than that AI smart fish tank.
Yeah, that one felt different.
The sources used it as this powerful little example, a microcosm of where this frictionless future might lead us, a disquieting destination.
Because yes, it solves the friction of care. It monitors the water, feeds the fish perfectly, takes care of everything.
Is that all there is to it? The act of feeding a fish, checking its water, just watching it, isn't that more than just a chore?
It's like a ritual of connection, the reports called it. A small moment of responsibility, of quiet observation, acknowledging another living thing.
So when you automate all of that, what happens to that connection? Are you just turning your pet into, what was the phrase, a dynamic screensaver?
Oof. That's harsh, but I see the point. The fish is fine, perfectly cared for by the machine, but our relationship with it feels hollowed out, replaced by an algorithm.
The burden of engagement is gone, yes. But maybe we've reduced ourselves from caretakers to just spectators, passive observers of a perfectly managed system.
Losing that connection of stewardship.
And this hidden cost, it potentially extends way beyond fish tanks. Okay, maybe the stair-climbing vacuum just frees us from unthinking labor, which seems purely good.
Yeah. Who wants to vacuum stairs?
Right. But the worry is, as automation spreads further and further, it starts encroaching upon tasks that, while sometimes tedious, are also the very things that ground us.
Things that connect us to our environment, our homes, our relationships.
Exactly. Think about gardening, or cooking from scratch, or even fixing something small yourself. These aren't just tasks, they're moments of tangible creation, of care, of engagement.
So if automation takes over more and more of those kinds of tasks, what are we left with?
The sources suggest it could lead to this profound emptiness of non-participation. A world where your home isn't really a space you actively shape and live in through your actions.
But more like a self-sustaining diorama we happen to live inside.
It's a powerful image, isn't it? A home run by silent, efficient algorithms that are completely indifferent to whether we're actually engaged or not.
We become honored guests, but guests with nothing really to do. Hashtag tag fragility in the pursuit of fluidity. Let's swing back to those adapting objects, the ones trying to be perfectly fluid, like the rotating monitor or the transforming mousepad.
Reshaping themselves around our desires.
They promise this world without the friction of using the wrong tool for the job. Perfect ergonomic harmony.
Sounds great on paper.
What if chasing that perfect fluidity actually makes things less robust or introduces new ways for things to break?
That's a really important point about engineering trade-offs.
Yeah.
Take the Samsung rotating monitor again. To get that smooth automatic rotation, what did they add?
A motor?
Right? A motor,
Okay.
which is a new point of potential failure. Motors have moving parts, electronics. They're just inherently more complex and potentially fragile than a simple solid stand.
So a manual lock where you just click it into place yourself?
Might require a tiny bit of physical effort, yeah. But it could also be far more reliable and last much longer.
We're trading robustness for this kind of elegant fragility, adding complexity to remove a tiny inconvenience.
Exactly. And remember, the round MagSafe power bank.
The smooth, pebble-like object.
Beautiful, embodying that seamless ideal, but, as we discussed, ergonomically absurd in practice.
Awkward to hold against a flat phone.
Right. The very friction of the old rectangular ones, the flat surfaces, the defined edges you could grip, that's what made them work well in your hand.
So removing the friction of form for aesthetics actually created practical friction.
It's a perfect example of how trying to eliminate one kind of friction can unintentionally create another. We might end up with a more delicate and less reliable world.
Trading robustness for elegance that doesn't actually serve the purpose.
And maybe, the sources suggest, this reveals something deeper about what we want. We seem to crave tools that do the thinking for us, even physically. We want the world to just reconfigure itself around our whims. Instantly.
Yeah.
Effortlessly.
Like tech telekinesis. Soft edge matter that just anticipates our needs.
Yeah. But here's the potential downside. A world without hard edges is also a world without definition.
Meaning?
A tool that's perfectly fluid risks becoming useless. Like a beautiful puddle of potential with no effective application.
Huh. So by trying to kill the friction of defined forms and functions, we might end up with tools that are actually less effective, more breakable, and ultimately less useful than the slightly more friction-filled versions.
It's a definite risk. The clarity of purpose, which friction sometimes provides, gets lost in the pursuit of infinite, effortless adaptability. Hashtag, outsourcing perception and discernment.
Okay, we've hit automated power, chores disappearing, adapting objects. Now for maybe the deepest level. What happens inside our own heads? Our perception.
Because IFA showed tech aiming to smooth out even the friction of just seeing, interpreting, experiencing the world.
Making perception itself effortless.
It's fascinating how deep this goes. In a way, the ultimate resistance, the ultimate friction, is the effort it takes to truly perceive, to interpret, to make sense of things.
And now tech is saying, don't worry, we'll optimize that for you too.
Pretty much. Take Dolby Vision 2. This next-gen display tech isn't just about better visuals, though it has that. The key is content intelligence.
An AI for your TV picture.
Basically, yeah. A sophisticated AI analyzes the image constantly, compares it to data about your specific TV, the scene, the room lighting.
Okay.
And then it intelligently optimizes the picture in real time. The goal, they claim, is delivering the creator's true intent more perfectly than ever, eliminating any visual friction.
Removing any barrier between the art and your eyes.
And when you combine that with those crazy high refresh rate monitors like the 720 hertz one.
The goal is to erase all perceptual friction.
Think about old media. Film had grain. TV had scan lines. Early digital had pixels. There was always a texture, a reminder of the medium itself.
A sign you were watching a representation.
Exactly. Now, the goal is to smooth all that away completely. The AI in your TV isn't just tweaking things. It's making millions of tiny, imperceptible decisions for you every second, sculpting this perfect image.
So, what does that mean for us as viewers?
The sources suggest we end up outsourcing our aesthetic judgment to an algorithm. We're being fed this pre-digested reality.
The friction of actively looking, of noticing details, discerning nuances, maybe even appreciating the imperfections, that's gone.
Replaced by this perfectly optimized, algorithmically approved stream of data. It looks amazing, no doubt, vivid, stunning. But the implications for our own sensory autonomy are, well, unsettling, as the sources put it.
What happens to our own ability to judge, to discern, if we never need to exercise it?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? When the creator's intent isn't something we discover through our own attention and critical thinking, but is delivered pre-packaged by a corporate AI, what gets lost?
It's not neutral. It's conditioning us.
A subtle but powerful conditioning, training us to prefer the impossibly smooth, the algorithmically perfect, over the messy, textured, complicated reality we actually live in.
Making the real world seem dull by comparison, poorly rendered.
Potentially. By eliminating the friction of individual perception, The sources warn we might be building ourselves a hyper-real cage.
A beautiful prison of perfect pixels.
From which it becomes harder and harder to tell what's real and what's been algorithmically enhanced. Our own senses just become another data stream to be optimized by the machine. Hashtag tag outro.
So here we are, standing at the edge of this seamless world.
Engineered for profound convenience.
Yeah. Cables gone, chores done, objects adapt, even our senses get this flawless feed. We've kind of won the war against friction, haven't we? Achieved this tech utopia, maybe?
But the question we've been wrestling with today is, what kind of peace is this? What do we trade for all this effortless living?
Right, because this deep dive really surfaced this powerful counter idea.
That maybe those small acts of physical effort, of conscious decision, of patient observation, even mundane maintenance, maybe they weren't just burdens.
The sources force us to see them differently, as the actual points of contact between us and our world.
The friction that generated the heat of engagement, the stuff that affirmed we were participating, understanding that we had agency.
Plugging in the car, feeding the fish, turning the screen yourself, noticing the grain in a movie. These weren't just tasks.
They were opportunities. Moments that grounded us, demanded our presence, our awareness, our intervention, however small.
And in this relentless quest for weightlessness, for a life without resistance, could we actually be experiencing the phantom weight of our own vanishing agency?
That feeling you've lost something important, but you didn't even realize you had it.
We become, as those sources chillingly put it, honored guests in our own lives.
Living in self-tending homes, consuming self-optimizing media, using tools that anticipate our needs before we even know them.
The physical weight is lifted, sure, but maybe this new, heavier, more ambiguous weight descends. The weight of non-participation. And so as we look at this seamless world, rendered as smooth and frictionless as a sphere of polished glass, maybe we find ourselves unsettled by the perfection.
Feeling this strange, aching loss of a resistance we never knew we depended on.
We're finally weightless, and we've never felt so untethered. It's a world where everything is done for us, perfectly optimized, effortlessly managed.
A beautiful prison of perfection.
That might just leave us longing for the very rough edges, the very friction we tried so hard to erase.
It really leaves you wondering, doesn't it? As we glide into this incredibly engineered future, what new, maybe more subtle kinds of friction will we eventually realize are essential for our humanity?
What's the real cost of never having to push back, to struggle a bit, to connect with the raw mechanics of things?
A profound question indeed.
Definitely something to keep pondering as we navigate all this amazing and maybe slightly unsettling new technology. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell to the later update from my channel. Thank you for watching till the end, and see you in the next video.